Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Morning Sports Podcast. I am B.A. along with Jack Hirsch and James J. Train Martin and, of course, Keith Engel. Hope you guys are doing good this Sunday morning. We got a lot of sports to talk about. First off, we're going to go with Jack's little, good stuff going on here. The NBA playoffs. They're going to be these playoffs are becoming interesting. They really are. Some of these series are like what, but we're going to start off with Saturday's games. Just get a couple words in on it. Magic beat the Pistons 113-105. Orlando leads that series 2-1. I'm just saying the Pistons are going to be. If they keep turning over the ball like they do, a lot of those turnovers were unforced too. I mean, just throwing the ball away, that was just bad basketball. And Duran's got to step up. I don't know what everybody else thinks about that.
Well, Cunningham had 9 of those turnovers all by himself.
Yeah,
and that's that. You can't have your starter turn the ball over 9 times.
Yeah, you can't do that.
This puts the Pistons in a bad spot. And I like Banchero. I like the factors. I said earlier, or maybe it was last week on this show, that Orlando's full of guys that you just don't even think about as being really good players in this league. And I'd like to see guys like Banchero now are getting their due. He just wasn't short of a triple-double yesterday himself, and he's played really well, I think, in all 3 of these games. I like this kid a lot. And this team is scrappy, and we thought they'd do better in the regular season, so I don't think it's a huge surprise that they're giving the Pistons a tough time here. I would be shocked. I would have been shocked.
That, in fact,
if they lost it, but I thought they'd give them a hard time.
Yeah. That, well, in fact, that Orlando has a lot of injured players that have come back that weren't playing during the regular, like Wagner. Wagner didn't play most of the season. He's coming in there fired up. So, really, if you look at it, Orlando really shouldn't be an 8 seed. They should be like a 5 or a 4 seed if they have all their players, because they're a really good team with all them guys on there. So,
yeah, you're right about Banchero coming out of college, a number 1 overall draft choice. He was projected to be one of the best players in the league at this time. And, maybe he is, and maybe this is his finally he's breaking out. He's been very good.
He's been kind of lost.
From the time he entered the league, he's been very, very good. But you don't think of him as one of the elite players when you start rattling off the names. This Orlando team is a much better team than we give them credit for, or how we think they are, because they had a subpar season. Their season was a disappointment. And when the Celtics kind of like last year, had the injury to Tatum, you thought there was going to be a new era in the East. And even though people are favoring the Knicks, it was Orlando's turn to step up and be a serious contender. And they weren't that this year. They weren't that. But maybe they're stepping up in these playoffs, and they're going to kind of be a surprise the way the Atlanta Hawks were for a while, a couple of years back when they upset the Sixers in the playoffs.
So, I agree with Brian. A lot of the players weren't there, due to injury, and now they're starting to come back. But Banchero might be this year's Tyrese Halliburton. Literally hitting a 3-pointer the exact same way that Halliburton on their playoff run. So I don't know if this team can galvanize and get through the Knicks or get through Boston or Cleveland. I just don't know. Whoever they're going to play the next round or two, but they look like they want to win this series. I'm more disappointed in the Pistons. I think the Pistons really, considering they're a number 1 seed, they just not looking like they're playing like a number 1 seed.
They haven't looked like that way the last 6 weeks or so of the season.
They didn't have. To be fair to them, they didn't have.
I disagree with that, because they were 8-3. They were 8-3 without Cade Cunningham, and they still won the conference seed, and they won the division.
They struggled even in the games.
They didn't struggle in any of those games. There's a lot of those games that they blew teams out without Cade Cunningham. No, I disagree with that heavily. They haven't looked like the team that they went into the playoffs looking like. They turn over the ball a lot. I think Orlando is is about the same kind of team that they are defensively. So they're more on the ball and they have better offensive players than the Pistons do. And that's helping them out. Besides, like I said, they've got people coming off the injured, that were injured, like Wagner. Wagner makes 51 games somewhere around there, and he's coming back and he's on all cylinders. You got these guys just stepping up. It's just Detroit just got a bad draw. They got jumped on.
Yeah.
That's just what happens. And if they lose, and people are going to say, "Wow, Pistons screwed up and they won 60 games, won the Eastern Conference, and they couldn't beat an 8 seed." But I'm not looking at Orlando as an 8 seed. I'm sorry, but they would had those players playing the whole season. They would have been a 4th or a 5th seed. So they just got a bad draw. If they would have got Charlotte, they probably would have swept that series. But let's
hold our horses right now. They're they're down 1 game. So, we're not in a situation but they're just not giving the appearance of a number 1 seed, but they're only down 1 game.
Right. They got plenty of time to get it together, James. No concern.
Yes, Mr. Sarcasm, they do.
They're down only 2-1 in the best 4 out of 7. No need.
Your
back
is against the wall, James. You have to admit that. I mean, the Knicks were in the same place, and if you're winning game 4, now your season's on the line. Obviously, you got to win game 4. They have to win.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we're talking about game 3 here. Yeah. So I mean, I'm saying they are at a must-win situation because the team that wins that game will likely go on to win the series.
We all panic.
I will say this for the Pistons. Even if they lose this series, if they lose it to Orlando, and I know it's up in the air, the team can win, it's been a good season. It would be very disappointing to lose to the Orlando Magic, extremely disappointing, but it wouldn't be a disastrous type season like it would be for the Knicks if they lost to the Atlanta Hawks. Or if the Celtics lost to the Sixers, I don't think it would be as disappointing.
Somebody does not like your Knicks there, Keith, just to point that out to you. Going to the next game. The Thunder.
Years in the world. It's okay.
The Thunder are handling their series. They won 121 to the Suns 109. They're heading that series 3-0. I don't really think there's anything much to say about this. Portland is doing all they can to not Portland, but the Phoenix is doing all they can to, win this series, and it's just it ain't working out for them. It's just not. This defense will come up there. In fact, I think they had a 14-point lead early in the game yesterday, and just OKC just rattled off about 20-something points, and from that point on, it was just over. It's not looking good for the Suns at all.
But could you imagine if you're a Suns player, you don't want to get swept. You have game 4 at home, so you might think, well, win that game at home, but you don't want to make the trip to OKC because in their heads, there's no way they're coming back. They're kind of under their mindset. I mean, I can't see OKC. I mean, OKC is as short bet as could be. I wonder what odds you can get if you're picking Phoenix to come back and win 4 in a row. What could they give you?
$0 because you're not going to win that. Look,
0.
I heard Dylan Brooks in his post conference say that he's going to be on SGA in the next game. He's a great defender, he's a good 3-and-D guy, but that guy just put up 42 points and just annihilated them. And that should have taken their soul. I think it did, actually. I think they're going to sweep them. And I think SGA, current reigning MVP, is going to win his second MVP. They're doing this. They're blowing their teams out with their second guy, best player on the court. He wasn't even on the court. So I just think that OKC is ready, and it's going to be a matchup between, which I can't wait, but it's going to get there. It's going to be San Antonio versus OKC in the Western Conference Finals.
That's the one series out west that's kind of going exactly the way I thought it would. The rest have been a bit of a surprise. Even to San Antonio, I thought San Antonio wouldn't lose a game either. So that's been a bit of a surprise. And the other series which you'll get to. Really surprised.
As a matter of fact, we're going to get to your New York Knicks there, Keith. They won 114 to 98 over the Hawks. Series is tied 2 apiece. But Brunson and Cat, they did an excellent job. in his last game. They came in and scored. Everybody came in and did what they were supposed to do for the Knicks. That's great for them.
This is pretty much the blueprint for the Knicks playing well and winning series. And in fact, Karl Anthony Towns is probably above where you would expect him to be. Triple-double his first in his playoff career. He played very, very well. And I don't think you got the bad part of Towns yesterday much at all. Mikal Bridges still hasn't gotten it going too much. He didn't shoot much. He didn't play much. I think he only played like 19 minutes.
He did score. He scored.
He did.
That's a good sign.
Him and Hart had to step it up a little bit, and they didn't step it up a lot, but they stepped it up enough to at least not stand out like they did after Game 3. So the Knicks have got a must win and going back home. Wait, are we going back home, or is it 1-1-1?
No, you're going back home. Yeah, they're going back to.
Yeah. Which again, Game 5s in these playoffs are pivotal as well. I just talked about if you're down 2-1, you need to win, but 2-2, those are pivotal games in any of these 7-game series. So Knicks know very well about Game 5s from not winning championships because of losing Game 5s, whether it was to the Bulls, whether it's to this one or that one. So got to win this game at home.
The Knicks are clearly the better team. I did give I gave Atlanta 2 games because of how they played in the first game. I just think that the like Jack said earlier, that they allowed them to play something better, but you don't do that. You don't let the tortoise. If you're the hare, you don't go lay on the side of the road and let the tortoise keep running, because he might win that race. And I think this game, or this series, it may go 7 if Atlanta wins this next game. It may go 7.
I had it a 7-game series myself.
Well, if Atlanta wins the next game, I guarantee it's going to go 6 or 7. I guarantee that.
Yeah, well, Jack is really taking the sure things.
Yeah.
And in another Western Conference playoff game, the Wolves 112 to the Nuggets 96. Wolves lead that series 3-1. There's a little bit of scrapping going on in that game, kind of like what was going on in the Pistons Orlando game too. There's a lot of scrapping going on in that game too. I think it's more for the Nuggets, more of a frustration kind of thing going on with them. I didn't see the Wolves taking a 3-1 series lead. Didn't see that one coming.
Not at all. Especially now when you think they played all that game pretty much without DiVincenzo, and you're going to play the rest of the series without him, and half the game, or maybe more than half the game, without Edwards, and they won handily. And who's going to think Jokic is going to have 2 bad games in a row? He didn't play well again in Game 4, so he's got to get it together, obviously, for this team to come back. But I think they're going to be without Edwards the rest of the series. It certainly looks like that. James, did you mention it was going to be a month? I didn't hear that for sure, but
they said that type of injury takes about a hyperextension of the knee takes about a month to heal.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to do everything they can to get him back, but it won't be this series.
Yeah.
And now whoever that kid was, it's hard to pronounce his name, that scored 43 points off the bench. He played an elite game. I just really don't. Yeah, it's hard if you can pronounce that name for me.
Don't ask me to do it because I know.
I mean, I picked the Wolves to win this series, but now with Anthony Edwards out, I don't care whether they have a 3-1 lead. It's up in the air.
It's up in the air. I agree.
Chance to take full advantage of it. You think they're going back to Denver for Game 5? I don't want to say that's a gimme for Denver, but let's say Denver takes care of business decisively. Is Game 6 a must game for the Wolves? Because if they don't win that, then there's a Game 7 in Denver, which would be tough to win. Without an Anthony Edwards, the DiVincenzo, who's out for about a year now. So it's still up in the air, but the Wolves have a very good chance only because they have 3 games and they have to win 1 out of 3. But if that wasn't the case, I mean, the advantage would clearly be to Denver.
Well, this is the problem here. You're looking at former 3-time Defensive Player of the Year handle Jokic and Rudy Gobert. He's actually handling him, and he's slowing him down. 27% shooting. I don't know, not last night, but the previous night, the first 3 games. Yeah, he was killing the first game. He got 58%, but then after that, they figured him out. And now you need the other guys, Jamal And then Aaron Gordon. These guys need to step up. They need to step up, and that's not what's happening.
Do you get the feeling that Jokic has the Shaq syndrome? They're great players, but not in peak physical condition the way they should be. No, Shaq got criticized heavily for it. Jokic, maybe he's being given a pass. He just lumbers up and down the court. There doesn't seem to be much bounce to him. He's just slow. I mean, he's such a.
He ran pretty fast at the end of the game when he was mad at the player.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
but look, I don't think that's a problem for him because his game is much more range. He can range out a lot. If he has a 3-point shot, he has a mid-range shot. Shaq's game was more in the paint. I mean, he could range out a little bit. It's in mid-range, but it didn't. It stayed within the confines of the paint. But yeah. I definitely think that he's not. When you look at him, you don't think this guy's playing the way he's playing. That's off optically. But if it's
come on,
if he's no, I get what you're saying.
No, James. Let me apologize to you. When you were talking, I took a look at that tape. I saw it the first time on Minnesota getting that basket at the end of the game when they stopped playing. That's why I said, oh, come on. What's Jokic complaining about? A simple layup at the end, a harmless layup. It wasn't like it was a slam dunk to humiliate Denver. Come on. All this new school stuff, these players today, even Jokic.
Well, they did it back in the day, the unspoken rule. I mean, it was an unspoken rule that you don't. I'm saying no one.
They would shoot the ball. They tried to score. Come on. That was old school, not the guys today. The sensitivities are ridiculous.
I normally would agree with Jack, and I'm going to get called a hypocrite here because when teams get blown out, I don't have a problem with teams that run up scores and whatnot. It's not my job to stop myself. It's your job, right? That's my take as a rule. At the very end of a game with a needless layup, I can understand. Plus, the fact again, you got to factor in Jokic is frustrated, as Brian said. That's going to happen. It's going to be over. It's not going to play into the rest of the series at all. And he doesn't need.
I think it is going to play into the series.
Do you think so?
Not having the two players that are key players. Those two players that in Anthony Edwards, and I think this series is going to go. It's probably going to go 7. I think they're going to come back. I
don't mean the series is over. I'm just saying that layup and the altercation isn't going to play into the rest of the series.
I'm sick of the sensitivity. It goes on and off. But Tony La Russa, when he managed the White Sox, chewed out his own player because his team was ahead by about 10 runs, and this player swung at a 3-0 pitch and hit a home run. What's this player supposed to do? Take 2 strikes, be a gentleman, then you're allowed to swing. Hey, I'm sick of these.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. And again, Danny will probably call me out or somebody because I always go on about blowouts, and I don't care that teams run up scores. I really, unless you're talking about Pee-wee football. I mean, once these guys are getting paid and they're adults.
You know what I'm going to do? Keith, when our show that we have is doing better ratings than your individual show, the last 2 minutes of our show, I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to be quiet. I won't say a word, just that. So
this way you won't get stuff in on Sunday morning. What's going on
here? We're building up the ratings.
I'm going to take that on. Which one of you two guys thinks Jack can be quiet for 2 minutes at the end of the show? Seriously.
Sorry, Jack. I'm not taking over on that one.
Anybody want to take that
bet? Wow.
As for the rest of the NBA playoffs today, the Cavs are at the Raptors. Cavs lead that series 2-1. The Spurs are at the Blazers. The Spurs lead that series 2-1. Celtics at 76ers. Celtics lead that series 2-1. And the Lakers are going to try to knock out the Rockets. Lakers lead that series 3-0.
Go ahead and start. You guys start.
Who has a better chance of coming back from the 2-1 deficit, guys? The Sixers against the Celtics or the Raptors against Cleveland?
I would say the Raptors myself, but I don't know. The Sixers surprised me by winning a game at all, quite frankly. So maybe they're better and fired up without Embiid. I don't know, but I would say the Raptors have a better chance. I don't think either one's going to win these series.
Yeah, neither. Yeah, that's what I'm.
That's what I was going to say. Neither one.
I don't think either one either. But if you make me pick one, I'll pick the Raptors.
Right. But the Lakers are the surprise team here. No one had them pegged to be 3-0, or let alone if anything, that score, the record should have been flipped. That's what everybody probably would think, that the Lakers would be down 0-3 right now. LeBron James is. Go ahead, Keith.
I was going to say Durant's out, I know, but if you said Durant would be out and Luka and Reeves would be out, you'd still think Houston had a huge advantage, I would think, wouldn't you?
They have a much better defensive team. They're a much better defensive team. Yeah. But yet it seems like the Lakers are showing out better defensively and offensively. And they had that last game. They were down 3 quarters. They were down to the last couple of minutes, and they got up. They were up 6 points with 34 seconds to go, and they choked. They choked. There's no point guard there. Van Fleet is obviously was hurt. Had Van Fleet been the guy in the point guard, they probably win that game. We'd be talking about them being 2-1, but LeBron James and Marcus Smart were the key catalysts at the end of that game to steal the ball, make 3 free throws, and steal the ball again and make a 3-pointer to tie the game to go into overtime. It was just unreal.
I say it all the time. Marcus Smart's in the middle of these big wins all the time and doesn't always show up in the box scores. You just have to watch the games to appreciate what he contributes to any team. I thought it was crazy when the Celtics let him walk away from a championship team. So 10
total steals in the last 2 games. He's valuable, right? And what's going to happen? What's going to happen when Austin Reeves and Luka come back? I mean, it's going to change the dynamic of how they're playing. So LeBron he figured out a way to how to manage this team. That's it.
And you kind of wonder with LeBron, if those guys do come back, they get eliminated the next round. LeBron's going to be frustrated because at this moment right now, it's his team again, the Lakers. He's running things. He's the man. He's the boss. Everyone follows his lead. When Luka comes back, especially Luka, Reeves as well, but especially Luka, that dynamic changes. And LeBron might be frustrated. They get eliminated next round. We talked about places he could go to. Can you imagine LeBron thinks, I'm going to go to Cleveland. I'm going to speak to James Harden. I'm going to run the point. I'll be the point guard. I'll run the offense. You score, he tells Harden. And Harden will gladly do that because he's a scorer by nature. Him and Donovan Mitchell, the scorers, LeBron running the offense. Man, oh man, back to one ball there. I mean,
I just don't know if that worked. Because I think Harden he's got to have the ball in his hand. He's a playmaker, just like
Harden's a scorer by nature. First and foremost, he'll welcome that opportunity to shoot more. LeBron will shoot less. Harden will shoot more.
And Mitchell will pout and say, "Get me out of here."
No. Mitchell would be the number one option, and LeBron would see to it that Mitchell is the guy.
I think
Harden's already adjusted to being 1A at Cleveland. Keep that in mind. He's adjusted to being, a step behind Mitchell.
That's fair. Not a big fan of Harden. Not a big fan of the Clippers.
Can you imagine this would be great?
He's not a fan.
LeBron leaves, but the Lakers won't allow Bronny out of his contract because they want him on the team there.
Danny wants his son number 2 out, and he's not even there yet, for crying out loud.
He doesn't want him to come there at all, is what he's saying. Danny, all the stuff you're saying right now, everybody's going to miss LeBron when he leaves, I guarantee. Just like we missed Jordan. Even though the haters that hated Jordan back then, he changed the game, and people, it was different when he was gone. So it's going to be different when LeBron's gone too. I guarantee you.
All right.
The game won't be different. Someone always comes along. Sports continues the same way. The game is not going to change. You'll miss the individual player. You might miss individual matchups one-on-one. Like we can't have Kobe going against LeBron one-on-one. That's high-level TV. Russell against Chamberlain one-on-one. We miss those matchups, but the game goes on. I mean,
Jack, I get what you're saying, that the game is going to go. It will go on, but you don't have a talent like Jordan, like Kobe, like or Shaq when he was with Kobe, or LeBron. That's going to be tough. Wemby, I would like to say Wemby will be the next one, but he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy. Yeah, he's got to stay healthy.
Big deal.
All right, going from the hardwood to the goalpost here. We did have some other thing that happened this weekend, and it was the NFL draft. I want to get your take on who you guys thought what team did the best in the draft, and then a little bit about your teams too, how you felt your teams did in the draft. So, first question is, what team you think made the draft? I mean, they did really well in the draft. Anybody can go first.
I'll start if you want. I think the Jets did very well. I know Jack doesn't like his second pick, but it's a bit of a reach. I think even with that factor in, I think the Jets did very well. And this is probably Jack might disagree with me. I think getting Klubnik, I don't think they need to trade up, but taking a shot at Klubnik, I think it's worthwhile. And you find out at some point.
Fourth round pick.
Yeah. Well, they traded up to get him too. I don't know if they needed to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I think I like that pick. I like what the Cowboys did, quite frankly, at 12 and 20. We thought they weren't going to get one of the premier players. There's only like 10 guys, and Caleb Downs is one of them, and they end up with him. So I think they did very well there. And I like the kid out of Central Florida that they got at 20. The Eagles, one of the big moments of the draft was the Eagles stealing Lemon right out from under Pittsburgh's nose because they're on the phone with him. That's some of the great footage is I saw a tape the other day of Pittsburgh on the phone when Philadelphia traded up. And you can't make that stuff up. So I thought they did very well. Jack mentioned Roseman earlier, and he just finds a way to get it done. So I like what they did. I like what your Saints did. Not quite as much as these other teams, but those are some of the teams I think did really, really well. Browns did well too, I think, too.
They did.
A good draft, too.
A really good draft.
You want to know something? Everyone does well in the draft. Let's be honest.
No, I got about 10 teams.
It's a fair question to ask who made out best in the draft. I'm not condemning the question. It's a good question, but I never like to answer because everyone is adding on talent. So everyone technically is doing well. I mean, in that sense, are you making the best picks? It's like Jimmy Johnson says, it's not how many picks you have, it's what you do with the picks. Some teams overemphasize need, and they'll take need according to position when there's a better player on the board they can take elsewhere. I mean, that's why I kind of like, James, like I sent you a text about what the Saints did. They didn't have a need for a receiver after they took Jordan. They didn't have a need for a receiver, but they still did. They added to the receiving corps. Some positions you can't have too many players there. I mean, need comes into play. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting need at all. But as long as you're getting the best player or close to the best player in that particular position, I mean, how can you be annoyed? The Raiders, right off the bat, getting Mendoza, they did much better. Cowboys getting Caleb Downs. Now, but for the people who saying the Giants had a really great draft, Caleb Downs should have been their second pick at number 10 because he can't miss. He's going to anchor the defense. So they get an offensive lineman. How do you pronounce his name, Keith? From
Maui
Noah.
It's great what he's saying that he's going to die for Jackson Dart. Yeah, I mean, he might have to. He's going to get beat up over there if he gets overwhelmed. But Caleb Downs isn't going to fail. I can't see him being a bust. He's going to be successful. These offensive linemen, so many times they don't pan out. I hate to say it. Bill Parcells used to have a philosophy. We'll get our offensive linemen a little late in the draft. I mean, sometimes you get a blue chip guy like the Browns, Spencer Fano. I get all that. That's
why Drew Bledsoe got sacked 120 times a year for crying out loud when he was coaching the Patriots. So that's, That doesn't always work, by the way.
And look at
Maui
the
Noah is
Giants.
going to be. He's going. Maui
Evan
Noah is going
Nealon guys didn't work out. Offensive linemen. I mean, they bypassed on him when they could have a player.
By the way, he would have been
Garrett Wilson.
the best player. He was, if you're going to just go by rankings, he was the best player on the board at 10.
Yeah, Maui Noah is going to be great at guard for them. They really need that guy. They needed that.
Yeah. But I like what James's Saints did yesterday, and I kind of feel that they had a better draft than anyone in their division. So I kind of feel that makes them the favorites in a weak division.
Well, Tyler Shuck looked really good as a quarterback late. Is to be determined what he does against like some really good teams. But that being said, they're building around a guy that has talent, and you add in receivers. We had what we have on the list already. We had Olave, and then next, Vele. I mean, what's his name? His first name I can't think about his first name. Anyway, Vele. And that was it. The rest of the guys were just guys that weren't even. Jalen Pope we got from the Patriots. He was hurt, so he was out the whole year. We're still waiting to see what he can do. You had some other guys that was just like guys off the streets. So we kind of needed those receivers. And I like the one from North Dakota State, Bryce Lance. The guy is 6'2", 6'3", runs a 4.3, 340. And the tape looked like he ran that 40 as well. So that's just a guy that we can just plug in, not as a number 2 or number 1, but as a number 3 or number 4 receiver that can actually create space. But what I really like, this is going to surprise you, was the tight end from Georgia, Oscar Delp. Oscar Delp, his RAS score is comparable to George Kittle. They both had 9.95s. Both had little production in college. Both had little production because they weren't used that way. They were used mostly as blockers. And when you see this kid block, it's like maniacal. I mean, he's pancaking, putting guys on their back. He's 6'4", 6'5". But the 70 receptions that he had his whole career, he got 800 yards, and he looks like every bit of the 4.49 that he ran at the combine when he's on the field. So I really like that pick as an underrated third round pick. The second pick, another player out of Georgia, was Kristen Miller, the nose tackle. That guy, he gets double teams all through. He was getting double teams all through there, but he was breaking them. We need that because we gave up 120 yards in run offense against. I think we were 19th in run defense, excuse me. And so that should help shore up that. And I love what's a little underrated too here, even though he's a bust. Considered a bust, but the Tyree Wilson trade for the 150th pick, you're giving away just the 5th rounder to take him and not take any extra money. He's not getting a 5th-year option. We got about a year to watch him play and see if he can develop, because he still has a high ceiling. He's had like 12 sacks in 50 games. So hopefully we can get something out of him. But Barian Brown out of LSU, the kick returner. So we'll see some good things. And another kick returner which is valuable, Keith, as you know, the guy that you had for many years.
Well, we've had a lot.
Yeah. Well, not kick returner, but the ace. What was the guy's name that was the ace there? He was a Pro Bowler all the time.
Slater.
Yes. So we're getting the other Styles brother.
Might not even make your team, so I don't think you have to go over the late round picks. They might not even make the roster. They'll be put on the practice squad.
You know what? When you hit home runs,
I don't know, Jack. A guy that runs a 4.27 in the 40 and did well on special teams already, he's probably going to be the special teams ace for the team. And I'm talking about Sonny Styles' brother, and that's the other Styles. I forgot his first name. Lorenzo Styles Jr. Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll have a shot at the NFC South. But the other teams in that division did. Tampa Bay, I think they did okay too, and Carolina did some decent things.
I don't think Carolina or Atlanta had good drafts at all. I thought the Bucs and Saints did pretty well, but I'm not impressed with the Panthers or the Falcons did. Sorry, but I got them on my blah list.
So in keeping with that, what team do you think that really kind of blew it in the draft? Who didn't have a really good draft at all?
Bengals had a bad. I think the Rams had a bad draft. You can't take Ty Simpson at 13. There's no competition. They got competition for him with the Pittsburgh probably and the Cardinals probably, but not until at least late in the first round, if not later. They had no competition for him at 13.
In the controversy, putting Matthew Stafford on the clock. It's a sensitive situation. If I'm the Rams, this is how I handle it at this point. One, you have to extend Stafford's contract, give him the type of money he's happy. But number two, more important, on your depth chart, make Ty Simpson the third quarterback behind Stetson Bennett. So you distance him from Stafford, so no one is talking about Simpson coming in at any points. Make it clear that Bennett is your backup quarterback. Simpson is third stringer. He's a developmental, type quarterback. That's the way to handle it.
But Jack, that's not even the point. There's nobody saying he's going to play in the next 2 years, most likely.
Stafford is on the clock.
Hold on.
It always happens.
Hold on. This is a failure for one reason. They didn't make one pick. They had 5 or 6 picks. That's all they had. They didn't make one pick that makes them more likely to win a championship in 2020. No. Not one pick.
But I gotta agree with Keith there, Danny. I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with you because first of all, you yes, if you had a quarterback that was worth the pick, let's just say like the New Orleans Saints had Drew Brees at towards his end. You know who they were going to draft in 2011? They were going to draft Patrick Mahomes. They were going to draft Patrick Mahomes. It was happening. But that and Kansas City knew it, so they jumped him and they took Patrick Mahomes. This is not the same player. This is not the same player that you take at 13. This is not he's not Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, James. Yeah, but listen, the Jets years ago, the Jets had 4 number 1 draft choices. They had a quarterback, Vinny Testaverde, when Testaverde was good. So the Jets at number 12 took, I think, Sean Elliott, then John Abraham at number 13. Waiting at number 18 was Chad Pennington. They didn't need a quarterback, but the Jets said, this guy's a top 10 talent. Why is he still here? So they took Chad Pennington. They drafted him when they didn't need a quarterback.
How'd that work out?
Well, Danny, I'm going to say
a starter for them, so it did work.
Danny had a great point right here, but I'm going to have to back that up by.
The Jets weren't Super Bowl contenders either.
Mekhi Lemon would have been a great pick for the Rams.
Mekhi Lemon would have been a great pick for them there because, first of all, we're talking about quarterback. You got to at least Matthew Stafford set for 2 years here with his contract. He signed a contract for 2 years, but you don't know the situation about Puka Nacua, what's going to happen there. You may miss him, and you got another receiver that's aging, and Devontae Adams. Yeah. So with that said, you definitely need somebody to show up the receiver room for him to throw to while he's here.
CJ sixth round.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't have when you pick a quarterback, he's just taking up a bench spot. He's not going to play immediately at all. He's not playing unless you had a Jalen Milroe or something like that.
If he's your guy, and if you believe what Snead, the Ram GM, believes that Ty Simpson is going to be an elite NFL quarterback, you don't mess around because you're not going to get this chance again, maybe for years, to draft a talent like that. If you think he's that type of talent,
this is where you separate the good GMs from the great GMs. You got to look at your coach and say, we got to at least confer and try to at least compromise somewhere. There was no compromise there. You can clearly see that. No, come on, Jack. Jack, he was not happy he was doing everything he could to hide his feelings about that. He did not want that player at 13, Jack.
He probably wasn't happy. He wasn't.
It was no problem. He wasn't happy. It was clear.
The GM makes the decision.
Yes, and it's a bad one. It's a bad one. It's a bad decision. It's a bad decision to take that player at that 13th spot.
Hold up.
Gonna play.
I don't think it was a bad or good one. It was one that
it was a bad decision.
I agree that the pick was probably too high for it, but if you're looking
then
at
it's a bad decision.
Hold up. The Rams are already built for the Super Bowl. They got the players for the Super Bowl. And they only had 4 picks anyway.
Did I miss them in the Super Bowl last year? Did I miss them winning the Super Bowl last year? Did I miss that? Because they didn't win with the players they had. They didn't win.
Very close. Very close.
Yes, but you had an unhealthy San Francisco that didn't make it either. Imagine them being healthy now, and they got to have more challenges this year. So you got to re-up and get other players that can help you get to over that hump.
They made moves in the offseason to get players too. That's the thing that you guys get. The Rams.
No, but who did they get? Who did they get?
They got a premier cornerback, which they needed on that defense. Without that,
I'll give you that.
Give McDuffie, but
he's great.
Yes, but that's defensively. We're talking about offensive, man. Come on. Offensively, you don't know. You're
fine right now.
Oh, right now, do you know? Can you guarantee me that Puka Nacuna is going? Nacuna. Hakuna Matata.
Yes, he's going to play. There will be a little while he's going to play. I mean,
can you guarantee me that Puka Nacuna is going to play?
Yes,
he's not going to get suspended. Jack, you can't guarantee that. He's biting people. You can't guarantee that.
He's a nut.
He might get suspended a few games, but he'll be back.
Well, when the Rams go out in the first round of playoffs, we'll have this conversation again because they did nothing. I'm going to continue to say this. They did not one move yesterday or this weekend that improved this team over last year. And
the team was very good last year. Sometimes you don't have to improve. You just have to stay the same, and the other teams, the 1 or 2 who are better than you, are going to come back to you.
Yeah, because your 41-year quarterback's going to get better, and your wide receiver who's getting older, he's never going to get hurt. And the nut job guy you have
about because we heard that stuff at the beginning
of Yes, Damian, when you said that this kid said that he's getting old, he had a bad back, but in the same time, he threw 40 touchdowns, and he was MVP with a bad back. Come on, man.
You don't need a quarterback. Not today.
Well,
and by the way, we're not talking about a guy who's a can't miss quarterback. This is
true.
Exactly. That's my point. I wouldn't have a problem with it with the pick if they picked another guy that was elite. There, he's not elite.
Well, we'll get to that point when like Keith says, if they get eliminated or they go to Super Bowl, we'll be talking about it.
We will.
What they did in the draft. So, so that's just that right there. It wasn't a Steve. I tell you what, it wasn't a McVay pick. That's for
clearly sure. When he got on the phone with that kid and talked to him. The kid's talking about like, hey, we're gonna get there and win championships, and McVay's like, yeah. Come on, man. Not this year with you. Come on, because he even said he's going to come in and he's going to compete for backup with Stetson Bennett. Is that your? No, I'm saying when he's telling him that we're going to compete for the backup with Stetson Bennett, that's telling me that he clearly didn't want that kid. He didn't want him.
Well, that's how I'll
he
say.
Did do a good job
the last thing I'll say in the matter, the way the Rams should handle it, make Simpson the third stringer. Once he's the third stringer behind Bennett, there's no controversy. It shows he's so far away from starting. It takes, the pressure off. You make him the primary backup, Simpson. That's not good.
This is my last point. Let's not forget there's nepotism involved in this. Les Snead is good friends with his father, that coaches University of Tennessee Martin. They're great friends, and he was his advisor. He was the quarterback's advisor, what he should do, whether or not he should stay in the draft. So let's not leave that out of the equation as well. Okay.
I'll stand by the Rams had the worst draft.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm with you, Keith.
Outside of me, I mean, I had a bad draft too, but me personally, I didn't get a pick right. I got 2 picks right. I got the 2 running backs. I picked the 2 running backs. That's all I picked right.
Let me tell you something. We had this conversation the other day. You ain't gonna get no pick. This is why I'm a big proponent against mock drafts. It's all great and great. You're not gonna pick anything. It's like doing the final four. In basketball, you ain't nobody gonna win that $1 million. Nobody's gonna do that in this either. It's just, to me, it's a waste of time.
Yeah, but Brian, you were mentioning before our individual teams, how they did. I mean, I'll go over the Jets quickly, how they did. They did okay. I'll grade them like a B, but the Jets could have done better. David Bailey was a pretty obvious pick in the sense it was going to be him or Abel Reese. I mean, we knew that. It didn't take much scouting, brain work. You know,
are you reaching, Jack? Are you reaching? Come on, you said they did okay. They had an A+ draft, man. They had an A+ draft, man. Come on.
Yeah.
You had 3 first-round draft picks, and your second-round player could have been a first-round draft pick. So in essence, you probably have 4 picks in the first round. I mean, the D'Angelo Pond, man.
I'll tell you straight out now. Makai Lemon is going to be better than Kenyon Shadiq, and it's not even going to be close.
Different positions, man. Come on, different positions. Come on.
No, come on. We're looking at a better player.
Makai Lemon is going into a really good situation. He's going into a better offense than yours. Anybody's offense is better than the Jets. Come on. Of course he's going to be better. Come on, man.
Let's not draft any good players because we don't have a good offense. So it doesn't matter.
I think you're going to be better. I think you're going to be better.
Shadiq is not nearly as good as Makai Lemon.
Agreed, Danny.
That's apples and oranges, Jack.
No, it's not. It's the combines. Lemon didn't show up at the combines as speedy as this, and that, take my word, it's not even going to be close. You know, the contribution of both guys to their teams and who's the better player. Lemon is going to blow him out of the water. It's not even going to be close. So they should have taken Lemon at number 16, and they could have stayed put at 33, and chances are Omar Cooper would have been there at 33. Maybe not, but there are other good players there. They could have taken Denzel Boston at 33, whatever. If Omar Cooper wasn't there, and they're going to be similar receivers, Boston and Cooper, as far as who's going to be a better NFL player.
Let me put this in retrospect for you, Jack. Sadiq might be what Keith says, okay? But let's just assume that he's going to be a good tight end for the Jets. It's all about how the offense is called. For a fact, I know Philadelphia's offense, they got great receivers. They don't like throwing to them half the time anyway.
Right.
So Makai is just going to go into a situation where they're not going to throw to him all the time. So, I mean, you got to look at how the offenses are. I'm not buying that whole situation. And then we don't even know what's going on with A.J. Brown, if A.J. Brown's going to the Patriots or not.
We know he's not going to
know that situation.
We know he's getting shipped out for sure. He's getting shipped out.
He won't be out.
Well, until he does, he's on the Philadelphia Eagles. Right? Okay, so we had to go by what that fact is. So we don't even know what that whole situation is. And then they got a plethora of receivers on that team right now. They got Hollywood Brown on there. Who they just get? They just got another Wicks. They got Wicks from Green Bay. I mean, they got a plethora of receivers there. So it's not like it's not going to be a crowded receiver.
Lemon is better. He's going to show out better, and he's going to be more of a weapon.
And you have to assume that, though. That's an assumption.
Yeah, that's why we just see Brown's gone too. By the way, we can
assume
they weren't traded. They wouldn't have not have traded up to get Lemon if Brown wasn't gone. I mean, I could make that.
I understand that assumption, but the point of the matter is,
what would have been a better pick. That's all I'm saying. Lemon would have been a better pick. He was there at number 16, a clearly better pick for the Jets. That's why, even though I think the Jets had a good draft, I didn't think they had a great draft. Even when, D'Angelo Pons, they hit a home run with. I mean, that was great. They traded.
All right, Jack, I got to say it again. That's just plain goofy.
D'Angelo Pons, outstanding. Hey, Klubnik, he's not going to be their quarterback of the future.
Jack's never going to be satisfied.
Was the most
no, not at all.
College football team last year, the most dysfunctional, and the quarterback played an important role in how dysfunctional they were. It was good the Jets took a fly on the quarterback in the 4th round. I'm not against Kate Klubnik, but they didn't have to trade up to get him. And if they didn't get him, they could have taken Cole Payton or whatever.
They're right in love with North. Nobody, those guys
they could have managed the draft a little better. The Jets did okay in the draft. that you could say the Jets did well, but I'm not going to say, oh, they did great. They hit it out of the park. They did well, okay, all in all.
I think Jack needs to get some credit here because he got the three of us to defend the Jets. It's amazing.
Right.
Yes.
Good job, Jack.
Oh yeah, thank you, Jack, for your Jets.
They got a guard. Wait, they got a guard out. Wait, they got a guard out of Miami.
What's that?
Was it out of Miami in the late round? I forgot.
For the Jets?
Who I'm not familiar with.
And that's Cooper. He's okay.
Yeah.
He's okay. Depth.
Yeah.
Depth on the offense.
Your first 4 picks, Jack, are elite. That's just a great draft.
Elite, but they're very good. They're very high up there. Yeah, I would say that.
But the other 3, D'Angelo Ponce is going to start.
Nobody cares about the last 3. I wish people would get off this stuff. The last 3 picks of your draft are going to be people that you're either subbing in or
D'Angelo Ponce is the 50th overall. He is in the
D'Angelo's the second rounder. He's the guy out of Indiana. His comp actually is Aaron Glenn. They say he reminds everybody says he reminds of Aaron Glenn the way he's like 5'9", 180 pounds, but he's super fast. Yeah.
I think he sounds worse than him, but I'm just saying. I think he's worse than me.
He said Sundays were made for sports and Yorkshire puddings. Thank you, Chris, for that one. But yeah, I mean, I think the Lions picks were like a B. I think they really did good in the first 2 picks. Obviously, they needed an offensive tackle. The offensive tackle they got was probably not a lot with the Lions. See, the thing is, I don't have to battle with nobody else about the picks on other teams. It's about the picks I got to battle with other Lions fans. And the offensive tackle position is good. I mean, he can actually sit behind what's his name? Broman, whatever his name is, as Panay moves over to left tackle. So our offensive line is pretty straight. I really love the Derek Moore pick, though. I think he was a very underrated defensive end in this draft. I don't care. Yeah, I'm Michigan biased on the situation, but looking at him over the seasons as he progressed, he had consistent sacks. When he was the guy that they leaned on to get sacks, he did his job last year. He had 10.5 sacks. He averaged like 4 or 5 sacks before that. And he was also with Aiden Hutchinson when they won the national championship. So pairing him with Aiden Hutchinson, I think the only thing that he has to hone up on his skills is making another move besides bull rushing, because in the NFL, you can't use that one move all the time. That's going to get old, and tackles are going to be like, yeah, okay, whatever, man. So I think pairing him up with Aiden, because Aiden had to do that when he came out of Lions too. He had to learn other things. So I think they did a pretty good job. And people were talking about the quarterback they got. I'm like, man, come on. That quarterback's a UFL quarterback. He's just going to be on a practice squad. That's what he's going to be. So.
Who did they get? I didn't hear that pick.
What the hell is his name? It starts with an A. Ed.
It's not Diego Pavia, Jack.
No, it's not Diego Pavia.
He didn't get drafted, no.
He's in the UFL.
He's very short. He's like 5'8". But
he's in the GFL, the grocery store football league.
Is he another Hendon Hooker?
Kurt Warner's
going to be bagging him, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. UFL, there you go. What's his name? Hold on real quick. I'll get his name here. Even on here. I don't even think he's on this list. I think he was an undrafted freak. Jeez, I don't even see his name on here. In the
Did they sign him after the draft? Maybe.
I think they might have signed him after the draft. Yeah.
I don't see a quarterback.
I think that was just like. I don't see that quarterback out here. So they probably signed him after the draft. I don't pay too much attention after round 3. After round 3, you can kick rocks because I know, but unless you find that diamond in the rough, which is rare in rounds 4 through 7, it's it's basically backups and people that are just going to be subbins. So I don't really pay attention to those. But yeah. I think everybody had a pretty good. I think everybody in this circle had a really good draft.
Ours wasn't, it wasn't it wasn't sexy, right? It wasn't splashy.
Yeah.
They made really solid picks at positions that needed them. I like the tight end from Notre Dame. He has a few drops. He was injured a bit. Who was their third round pick? And I like what they did. I'm not sure if they need to trade up to get Jackas yesterday. I'm not sure if they needed to trade up to get that, but again, no, I just nitpicking really. I like what they did. They filled some needs. Wide receivers, we didn't help ourselves, but we may have one coming in on June 1st. So
yeah,
pretty true.
I'm pretty. It's a signal. Another signal, by the way, that AJ Brown is on his way to New England because they didn't take a wide receiver in this draft.
Yeah, but you don't look at trades as being draft capital, but it is. I remember the line George Allen used a lot of years ago when he was, coach of Washington Redskins. They traded with the Jets to get Verlin Biggs, a defensive tackle, and they gave the Jets a number 1 draft choice. And then they asked Washington, well, what are you going to do now? You don't have a number 1 draft choice. And he said that Verlin's on number 1 draft choice.
Sorry, Jack, I'm not laughing at you, but Danny's right.
No, I know. I mean,
he had a bad choice of words there, I guess.
They're trying to do everything opposite of sexy.
Now, out of this, just real quick, and another thing too, the Eagles are doing sneaky things too. They also acquired Greenard from the Vikings for a 4-year deal. He was one of their best linebackers on the Vikings, so that's a really good thing for them too. At this juncture, who do you think are the 2 teams that'll be in the NFC Conference Championship? Just a draft right now, what they did in the offseason. Just off the top of your head.
I mean, they didn't necessarily have to have a great offseason. I mean, Seattle, I know they replaced Walker running back in the draft, but they have
which was a good one too.
I mean, my guess is off the top of my head, the Seattle and the Rams may be in the rematch. I mean, just off the top of my head, it doesn't mean that's going to be my prediction.
It's just hard. I mean, because I don't know. I saw San Francisco, right?
I'm not
ready to take the next step. I'm not
holding anybody to their pick. I'm just saying, who do you think at this point would be your favorites for the NFC Championship?
That would be my guess. The Rams and
I just go ahead and say a rematch with those 2 teams. Yeah,
that's fair. I'm probably going to do today. I'll say the same thing, but I'll tell you what. I think the most improved team in the NFC next year will be the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys win the East next year.
You know what? I'm not mad at that. With Jack and I and Brian were talking about this. I just thought that their defense. I mean, especially with that draft of Caleb Downs, he's going to make some teams pay for not picking him.
12 and 20, people thought they needed to move up to really get an impact player, and they got one at 12. And I really like the kid at 20. So the kid from UCF, the edge rusher. So
yeah, that was a great. They had a great first round. Yeah. So I think they're going to be, and then with the pieces that they already have on the defense, they're going to be shored up a little bit. They're going to be a lot better.
And the Chargers, too, Mike McDaniels, their new offensive coordinator, and they address his needs in the draft, receive offensive line. They put a little more emphasis, Harbaugh, on accommodating McDaniel.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up our show for today. I like that everybody had really high debates with this draft thing. It was really good. I'm glad you got passionate. Yeah, very good. And Jack, your Jets did fine. So
anyway, did well. They did well. I don't want to hear they did great. I mean, they did well.
Let's end the show now, please.
I can't wait tomorrow morning, man.
On that note,
we
will see you next Sunday at 8 a.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. And join Keith for his Stream of Conscious next.
Yeah.
See you, Jack, man. Have a good day.
I'll see you guys. Take care, guys. A lot of